If this is you, you are underrated right now, and you need to file an intent to file so you can get paid more starting from right now. Fellow vets, welcome back. I'm going to show you an important video today because it's going to be super actionable. Most of the stuff that you watch on YouTube is, oh wow, good to know, and then you move on with your day. I'll tell you what, if this is you, I'm going to list specific scenarios, and at the end of the video, I'm going to list specific conditions and what you should be rated at. And if this is you, oh, you know what, I'm rated at less than that, which it probably is, you're going to know that, hey, you have an actionable item and an opportunity to get paid more starting from today, the day that you watch this video. Yes, seriously, how many other videos are going to be like that? Not many. So let's get right into it. Jordan Anderson, VA Claims Academy. If this is you, you are underrated, so let's lock in. This is the board of opportunity. Why is that? It's not the wall of shame, it's the board of opportunity, because in the VA claims process, the mistakes of yesterday, right? The mistakes of 20 years ago, the mistakes of last year when you filed your claim, all it is the opportunity of today. It's never too late to get it right. Number one, we have Cheap Charlie. Okay, Cheap Charlie's the worst. Cheap Charlie's the guy who wouldn't buy a Bitcoin right now for $100 because it costs $100. Cheap Charlie definitely doesn't tip his waitress, and he is cheap not only with his cash, but with his time. Cheap Charlie is not willing to invest, not willing to sow good quality seeds to reap the benefits and the rewards of what is the most important income on the face of the planet. I always say that it's not hyperbole, because what other income can you get that's a pension, that is tax-free, and that's completely passive, that follows you around everywhere in the world, even to to places where the dollar goes farther. It's absolutely unheard of. Don't be cheap with this process, with your effort, with even a little bit of cash. Don't be cheap, because the reward is so worth it. So Cheap Charlie probably went with the free VSO. Maybe he's satisfied, hey, I got 70%. Cheap Charlie, if you're sitting there, you went with a VSO, you got 70, you got 80, you got maybe 90%, you probably should be at 100%, and you don't even know it, because hey, 70 is pretty good, and you are sitting there and you're actually paying more than what you would have if you would have just invested some effort into the education. So don't be a Cheap Charlie. But next, this might be even worse, is a half-butt Henry, okay? Half-butt Henry knows better. Half-butt Henry knows that, hey, I should submit a personal statement, right? A statement in support of a claim for each and every condition. Half-butt Henry won't even go to VA Claims Academy, first link in the description, and take 10 minutes to personalize a pre-written template for his lay evidence for each condition. Which, by the way, quick aside, VA Claims Academy 2.0, for you grandmasters, masters, for you members, experts, you have already got a free upgrade, all new videos with a better structure of the course. Half-butt Henry knows what he should do, is a little bit lazy, and says, oh, you know what, it's in the doctor's notes, I'm not going to write a personal statement. Don't be that guy, because again, it's about sowing quality seeds so you reap a quality harvest in this process. Most important income of your life on the face of the planet by far, okay? Now, this one we're probably relating to, this was all of us, right? We were all an ignorant Igor at one time or another. I thought you had to look like Lieutenant Dan to get a 30% rating. I thought that, hey, you know what? This is going to be the worst, most arduous process, the VA rating process. Little did I know, once I think it was a service member that kind of got my attention on it, maybe even previously before service, someone said something, and it's like, oh, wow, you look into the process, and hey, this is an open book test. Ignorant Igor, classic case of you don't know what you don't know. No one's really going out of their way to educate you and to really maximize your family's income. No one's really looking out for you. This was most of us, and it just happens. But now that you know, you can't half-butt the process. Here we go with our bonus one, and then we're going to get into the specific conditions list. Hey, if you are rated at less than this, you are underrated and you need to fix it. The last one right here, we have a mystery, and this is Prideful Preston. Okay, I've seen a lot of these. Prideful Preston has filed for hearing loss or tinnitus 5 years ago and got denied. maybe he didn't have a personal statement, but he had doctor's notes, right? He had the doctor's notes and the VA denied him. So now he is so upset, he's going to really stick it to the VA. Hey, they got this wrong. I'm going to take this to Washington and I'm going to fight for 5 years at the Board of Veterans Appeals in a courtroom because they got this claim wrong. Prideful Preston should have said, oh, you know what? VA kind of dropped the ball on this one, but maybe I could have done a little bit better. I could have wrote a personal statement to really bulletproof this claim. Let me do a supplemental claim, refile it, I'll adapt, right? And could have won that in 3 months. But now 5 years later, he's still banging his head up against the wall, and now he could have had a secondary claim to that tinnitus that he could have already had won and getting paid a lot more for his family. But now he's in Washington going through courtrooms because of pride, okay? If the VA gets it wrong, look at yourself. If the VA gets something wrong, look inward first. Do not have pride. This is the most important income of anyone's life. Don't try to bend the VA to your will. You're going to get very frustrated and you're not going to like it. More importantly, it's not good for your household, okay? So swallow the pride for a little bit, win, and then you can, hey, if you never want to talk to the VA again, so be it. Here we go. Into the specific conditions list and the specific percentages. So lock in. Number 1 is mental, right? If you're sitting here and you're watching this, I have a mental condition. Hey, I have insomnia. I have adjustment disorder. I have anxiety. I have PTSD. I'm rated at 50%. You're underrated, okay? The average rating for PTSD, for insomnia, for any mental condition, you should be a 70% rating. That's average. The average veteran doesn't even put in a personal statement. You know what I mean? So if you're less than average and you're sitting here watching me, you're not watching me to be less than average rated. You know, you're watching me to be a top 1%. So if you're sitting there and you have 30% for your mental, you have 50% for your mental, oh, you're underrated, in my opinion. This is all just my opinion, right? Number 2, GERD. If you have gastroesophageal reflux disease, acid reflux, right? That heartburn-ish, you know, you're kind of can't swallow stuff as well, you're regurgitating. Here's why I think that you should be at a 60%. If you have a GERD diagnosis and it's service-connected, in my opinion, you should be at 60%. Here's the rating criteria for GERD, and here's why I say that. It says a bunch of stuff like, hey, you know, vomit in the, blood in the vomit, yada, yada, this, and that, stuff that seems severe. And then it says, or other symptom combinations resulting in severe impairment to health. That's the part where, hey, if you have GERD bad enough to where you went to the doctor, you went to a digestive specialist, you went to a gastrologist, and they diagnosed you with GERD, in my opinion, you are having a significant, severe health impact, whether you want to admit it or whether you believe it or not. And here's why. What's the easiest way to get healthy? Eat healthy, right? It's all about the nutrients, all about how you absorb them. If you have a digestive condition, in my opinion, you're not optimally absorbing nutrients. So what does that do? Which bodily functions does that impact? All of them, right? If you are not absorbing all your nutrients optimally, your every single bodily function, in my opinion, I'm a layman, right, is impacted. Your immune system, your, of course, digestive system, your endocrine system, everything is impacted. To me, that is severe impact to health, whether you want to admit it or not, which is why, in my opinion, every single GERD rating, if you are, you know, service connected for GERD, you should be at a 60% rating. Next one, vertigo or Meniere's disease. If you are someone who has vertigo, you have it service connected, and you have a 30% rating, but you're staggering once a week, or more than once a week, rather, hey, you know, you got to kind of stumble, you get a vertigo attack, the world's spinning, and you have been documented with hearing impairment. Okay, I didn't say severe hearing impairment, I didn't say mild, I said hearing impairment. That means any hearing impairment. And you are stumbling more than once a week, you should be, get this, get ready, you should be compensated at 100% for your Meniere's disease, aka vertigo. Okay, when vertigo gets so bad, it changes to another diagnostic code for Meniere's disease. Again, if you're stumbling, okay, more than once a week, you get attacks for vertigo, the world is spinning, and you have documented Hearing impairment, it could even be mild hearing impairment. You should be rated at 100% just for vertigo. Okay, final one, headaches. If you have headaches, you have chronic headaches, you have migraines, and you get these bad attacks where, hey, you gotta lie down in a dark room, they're prolonged, they're very frequent, as the VA says, very frequent. So hey, maybe you're having 1 per week, maybe 2 per week, right? If you have ever missed work time, if a family member or someone who lives with you that helps pay your bills, your household, has missed work time for having to come home and take care of you, if you've missed, hey, maybe you were going to list something on eBay, but now you got a migraine attack, and hey, you know, forget it. If you're missing out on income, you should be at a 50% rating. A 50% rating, that's the maximum for migraines, okay? Severe economic inadaptability is the threshold. What does severe mean? Oh, does that mean I'm losing $100,000? Severe is whatever is severe to you, right? It's your prerogative, your opinion on what is severe. Hey, it's severely financially impacting me. It's not the VA's job to dictate what is severe financial impact to you when you're probably the one who's underrated and getting compensated less than what you deserve, all right? So if any of those are you, what you need to go ahead and do, of course, educate yourself, go and get an updated diagnosis. So if you haven't been to the doctor, but you want an increase for these, you need to go get your butt to the doctor first so the VA doesn't laugh you out of the building saying, okay, if it's so bad, how come you haven't been treated, right? So if that's you, get your butt to the doctor, get an updated diagnosis. Feel free to go in the link in the description. Okay, get yourself a personal statement template if you're not willing to go ahead and invest a couple months to learn how to, or a couple weeks, right? To learn how to craft a really good personal statement, right? Learn how to go through the CMPs with confidence. Go and treat it like an open book test. And today, you should file an intent to file, right? So go to va.gov, go to where it says submit a disability claim. You'll click through. It'll tell you, hey, your intent to file has been open. That is good for 1 year. Okay, you can do that from the date of this video if you want to file for an increase. And what happens is once you win your increase, you'll get back paid all the way till today, the day that you saw this video. So effectively, you'll be getting paid more starting today. My friends, this is actionable. So if this is you, take some action, get educated. This is an open book test. Really take it by the horns and win. Fellow vets, until the next one, cheers, and I'll see you there.